Imagine trying to explain Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira 2 to somebody who has no idea who either of these gentlemen are or what the BMF belt is. Let me explain. First up, meet the most loved fighter in UFC history, Charles "Du Bronx" Oliveira. Charles's record is 36-11. He has 32 finishes. Charles is now 36 years old, and I'm telling you, throughout his career, this man is a legend. He is one of the most respected and loved fighters in the community of MMA. Everybody loves him. He's so nice, so kind, always about positivity, always has a smile on his face, and is incredibly appreciative. Charles does not come from wealth. As a matter of fact, he was born in the favela in one of the poorest parts of Brazil. At 7 years old, he was diagnosed with heart murmurs and rheumatic fever. The doctor said at age 7 he could never play sports again. He never gave up on himself, and by the age of 12, he started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Thank God he did. Because this man right here turned into one of the nastiest prospects in the UFC. He was a lot of hype coming into the UFC. A lot of people wanted to see what this BJJ was all about. But unfortunately, once he started in the UFC, he slowly started to struggle a little bit, and a lot of people thought he was a quitter. But then something changed. Something changed, and it was his daughter that was born. And it changed his life completely. Because Charles turned into an absolute god once he had his daughter. 11 straight wins. Nasty wins. I mean, people were like, oh shit, who is this guy now? Beat Michael Chandler for the title when he actually got dropped and was about to get finished. Came back, won, and then beat Dustin Poirier. He also beat Justin Gaethje as well, started accruing a lot of these wins. And then he fought Islam. And Islam is going to be probably the best fighter of all time. Lost to Islam. Then he comes back and fights Beneil Dariush, KOs Beneil. Comes into UFC 300, lost a split decision, which was incredibly close to Arman Tsarukyan, but we know where Arman is right now. Very good fighter. Then rematched with Michael Chandler, beats Michael Chandler. First time we see Charles go into a decision in a long time in a 5-rounder. Then he fights Ilya. And you know what happens when you fight Ilya, you get knocked out bad. And then all of a sudden, Charles is like, no, I want a quick bounce back. He got knocked out bad. Wanted a quick bounce back against Gamrot. Like, really quick fight. You never give up on Du Bronx because Du Bronx comes back, gets the win, and the crowd goes crazy. Everybody loves Charles. He is one of the nicest guys, sweetest guys. I'm telling you, girls, if you think your boyfriend loves you the most, it's not you, it's Charles. And this isn't like a joke. Like, your boyfriend would hesitate to answer that question. I'm sorry. But Charles isn't just a nice guy. In the octagon, he has the most submissions in UFC history, the most finishes in UFC history, the most fight of the night bonuses in UFC history. He has one of the highest finish rates in the UFC history. This man is known for getting knocked down and coming back and winning. If he gets knocked down, usually you're going to go towards your opponent and finish him on the ground. People are afraid to get in his guard because he's one of the best jiu-jitsu players in the MMA of all fucking time. Oh yeah, by the way, he rides horses too. He does horse racing. Thought I'd throw that in there real quick. So this legend, after he won his last fight, maybe you're thinking you're 36, what do you want to do? He calls out the BMF belt, the baddest motherfucker alive belt. Charles is one of the most dangerous fighters in the world, and that belt is only violent fights. It is the most ridiculous fights you can have. Who holds that belt? Max Blessed Holloway. One of the best strikers, one of the best boxers in UFC history. 27-8, 12 KOs. This 34-year-old Hawaiian is fucking nasty. Now, Holloway grew up in Hawaii, all right? And his parents were heavy users, and he didn't have a very good come up. But at the age of 15, he started kickboxing. Bro was so good, by the age of 18, he turned pro. There's a video of Max out there when he was young saying, like, don't ever give up on yourself because if you give up on yourself, you a certified loser. And honestly, to that day, that clip is still so dope. Once he got to the UFC, his first opponent, short notice, was to Dustin Poirier. And he lost by submission, his only ever loss by submission. Crazy thing about Holloway, though, he learned a lot of his moves from the UFC game he used to play as a kid. Bro learned how to fight through a video game. So start gaming. Max was still super young, still super green. He won a few fights, and then he lost one, and then he lost another to Conor McGregor, which I'm sure you know who that is. But after that, Max Holloway won 9 straight fights. 9 straight fights and got himself into a title fight. Won the belt against Anthony Pettis. Now he's the belt holder. Who does he have to defend against? Bro had to fight Jose Aldo, the godfather, the founder of the featherweight, and one of the best fighters of all time. In his prime, in Brazil. Max goes in, beats him, finishes him. Has another fight, shout out Detroit, it's in Detroit, beats him again. Then has to defend his belt against Brian Ortega. Bro was beating him so bad, he was showing Brian Ortega how to box mid-fight. Then he goes up in weight to fight against Dustin Poirier. They called him Muffin Top Max because he's going up to 155 on short notice and didn't properly bulk up, and he lost that fight. So he has 2 losses against Dustin. Comes back down to featherweight and then beats Frankie Edgar, another legend. Then starts the trilogy with Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski is the top 4 fighter of all time. Top 5, top 4. Argue with whoever you want, that's how it is. But Max loses all 3 of those with him. Arguably, the second one is very close. It could have gone Max's way, in my personal opinion, but maybe I'm biased. But after that second loss of Volkanovski, Max had to bounce back against Calvin Kattar in the most dominant performance you're ever going to see. Max was beating him so bad. Calvin Kattar is known as like a boxer. Max went in there and goes, I'm the best boxer in UFC, while punching and missing jabs and yelling it, not even looking at his opponent, yelling it at the commentary team. He's like, I'm the best boxer in the UFC. And he's like turning, bro, not even looking at his opponent. He was toying with him so bad. Max then has a fight with the Korean Zombie and retires him. And after that, it's funny enough, Korean Zombie and Max Holloway are like best friends now. It's really dope to see. But Max knocked him the fuck out and retires the Korean Zombie. Max Holloway then, after that, is like, what do? He calls out Justin Gaethje for the BMF belt at 155. Everyone thought Max was going to get outgunned. Not me. I knew he was going to win. Bro went on UFC 300, the greatest card of all time, and had the greatest knockout you're ever going to see. Max Holloway is beating him the whole entire fight, up 4 rounds. In the last 10 seconds, points down to the ground and just brawls him. Just stand and bang. In the final second, he knocks out Justin Gaethje cold to the ground. It is the greatest photo. It is the greatest knockout in history. The crowd could not fucking believe it. Max is known to have never been knocked out, and he calls out Ilia Topuria. He goes down in weight, which wasn't the right decision because he goes down, gets knocked out by Ilia. Max then fights Dustin Poirier for the 3rd time, a triple legacy fight. And honestly, an amazing fight, great moment, but Max gets to that last 10 seconds, points down to the ground and says, we're BMFs, let's do this shit. And nobody wants to swing with Max in the last 10 seconds. You don't want to do it. Max wins this fight by unanimous decision, and the beautiful thing about Max is he's so respectful. Everyone loves him. After the Justin Gaethje, Korean Zombie, and this fight, he says what he needs to say, but he gives his opponent some respect. He gave Dustin, he said, look, this isn't my moment. This is Dustin. I love y'all. Give your hands up for Dustin Poirier. Same thing with Korean Zombie. This isn't my moment. This is a retirement. Give an applaud for him. This is his flowers. Enjoy it. Now, here's the crazy thing about Max Holloway. Bro has the most significant strikes in UFC history. Most significant strikes landed in a fight. Most wins in UFC featherweight history. Most finishes in featherweight history. His significant strikes are so high, the next person under him is like 1,000 away. Nobody's touching that record. He is an insane volume striker with an insane resume. And bro just loves to game and surf and then throw some cheese on the slots, bro. He just loves that shit. Now, here's the thing. They've already fought before, and it was a fluky injury. Charles hurt his shoulder and had to go down. Max didn't even get to finish the fight, really. It was just a win for him, but a lot of questions need to be asked about this one because this was way back in the day. So this fight, to me, is really going to be hard because I love both these guys. They're the most loved fighters in the UFC. Everybody respects them. They only put out wars. They only put out entertaining fights. Nothing is boring from them, but they're so loved, and it's late in their career. Max is trying to get that lightweight belt. Charles is just going for another legacy. It sucks because somebody's going to get put out in this fight, and I love them so much. I don't think people understand how loved these fighters are. They're so fucking loved. Wholesome men, amazing fathers. You just love them. Everyone loves them. I love them. See you Saturday because this is going to be a banger.